More booster shots will be on the way for millions of Americans who received COVID-19 vaccines from Moderna and Johnson & Johnson. Here to answer your questions is Dr. Daniel Kritzkis, Chief of Infectious Diseases at the Brigham. Great to see you, Dr. Kritzkis.
Good to see you, Erica and Ben.
All right, doctor, let's get right to it. So what does this decision mean, and how does it change the fight against the virus as it stands now?
Well, I think what the FDA has now done is to formally endorse the recommendations that they received from their advisory committee last week. So that means that regardless of which vaccine you received initially, the Pfizer, the Moderna, or the J&J, you can now get a booster. And there are people for whom a booster is recommended, that people should get boosted, and there are people for whom it's optional. You may get boosted.
Well, Dr. Kritzkis, there's been a lot of talk about the benefits of mixing and matching different vaccine brands. The FDA weighed in on that, too. So who should wait for guidance before getting a booster shot? And I think specifically folks who got the J&J may be wondering if they should be switching brands.
Yeah, that's a little bit more difficult to say. So we know that if you got the J&J vaccine originally and you get boosted with either the Pfizer or the Moderna, you'll get a much bigger bump in your antibody levels than if you get a booster with the J&J. But the Ensemble 2 study, which used 2 doses of the J&J, showed that after the second dose, people had excellent protection. And the mix and match study didn't really look at protection, just antibody levels. So I think the advantage of being allowed to use any vaccine for a booster means it makes it less complicated. You can just go and get a booster and get boosted with whatever is available.
So do people who are fully vaccinated and also had COVID, recovered from it, need a booster shot? What's your advice to them?
Well, that's a great question, not one that was specifically addressed by the advisory committee or by the FDA today. We know that people who have recovered from COVID and then get vaccinated develop much higher antibody levels than people who just get 2 doses of one of the mRNA vaccines or get a booster. Whether they need a booster or not, I think they could probably wait to have a booster, especially if they fall into the may get boosted category. There's no urgency in them getting boosted.
Well, and we've been spending a lot of time talking about getting boosted a second or third COVID shot. But we know that doctors are still truly most concerned about people who haven't even gotten the first shot. So what are we learning about their risk for serious symptoms, even death at this point with the variant? You know, people are talking about Delta Plus, so, across the pond. So what's their risk these days?
Yeah, absolutely. It's still the most important thing for everybody is still to make sure that we convince the unvaccinated to get vaccinated. We saw data today from the FDA from the CDC that reemphasizes the protective value of vaccination. People who are vaccinated are 18 times less likely to get hospitalized if they get COVID, 11 times less likely to die. And very importantly, we also saw data that were released this week showing how in adolescents, people 12 to 18 years of age, the vaccines made a huge difference in terms of rates of hospitalization and even death from COVID in that younger age group.
It's nice to see we'll have some of these decisions and some of these new vaccines in place for the kids before the holidays. I think that gives a lot of people peace of mind. All right, Dr. Daniel Kritzkis, Chief of Infectious Diseases at the Brigham. Always good to see you, Dr. Kritzkis. Thanks for your time.
You're very welcome.